Hey guys, this is Dan. Sorry for the delay in posting this video. It has been a busy couple of weeks. I have so much to share just from the short period of time that I've had my car. However, in this video, I'm just going to focus on the delivery experience. So my delivery date was March 31st, 2018. And kind of a fun fact, my delivery date was exactly 2 years to the day since I placed my reservation for the Model 3. And that was like the day that the Model 3 was announced. So my wife and I, we headed up to San Jose kind of earlier in the day so we could spend the day there. And if you're planning to pick up your car in Fremont, I recommend doing the same. The Egypt Museum is really awesome. We checked that out. I also like getting some dessert at Smitten Ice Cream. So they make their ice cream to order, and it's really, really good. So I recommend checking that out, Smitten Ice Cream. So my sales advisor, the person I've been emailing with, never actually told me where to pick up my car. I requested to take delivery in Fremont, and I mentioned Fremont a few times in conversations with the sales advisor. So I assumed I should pick up my car at the showroom at the Tesla factory. So we get to the Tesla factory, to the showroom there, just minutes before they were closing the showroom. And that's when I found out I was wrong. I was actually in the wrong place. Tesla has a separate delivery center that's about 5 minutes away. And the address for that place is 47623 Fremont Boulevard, Fremont, California. So when you're heading up there to pick up your Model 3, don't do what I did and show up at the factory, but head over to that address, assuming that they don't change that address at the time you're picking up your car. So we get there to the delivery center, and to my surprise, it was like we arrived at a party. There was a DJ playing music outside. The place was packed, so many people. I signed in with a receptionist. She was really nice. She had me sign in on the Tesla app. And after doing so, to my surprise, my car was already set up in the app. And I could use the app to do things like honk the horn. So, of course, I honked the horn. And she told me to stop doing that. Yeah, so don't be obnoxious when you go to pick up your Model 3. Okay, so that brings me actually to my first tip. Have the Tesla app installed before you arrive. This really isn't that big of a deal, but it'll be one last thing you have to worry about when you get there. The receptionist told me the process will take about 45 minutes, and a delivery specialist will come find me when the car is ready. So I can pretty much go anywhere in the delivery center and check things out, and they'll just come and find me wherever I'm at. There was lots to do and see there. There's free coffee, hot chocolate, and even some gourmet ice cream served from a school bus. And that was really good. I recommend getting some of that if they have the same vendor there when you go to pick up your car. They also had a Model X and a Model 3 on display. And I tried really hard to resist checking out the Model 3. I really wanted my Model 3 to be my first. But the Model X was really fun to check out. So they even had some presentations about how to use your Tesla, which is good for those of us who don't watch every single Tesla YouTube video. But for some reason, they did not want me filming those presentations. So it was a lot of fun hanging out there, a lot of excitement. I think we waited for maybe 15 minutes or so when our delivery specialist, Rob, found us, and he took us out to my new car. And they have like this the space in the back where they have all the cars on display for delivery. And I got to say, the presentation was really nice. There was a black backdrop. The car was parked on top of some black flooring, and there's some really nice showroom lighting shining down on the car. And the car looked awesome. It was really sweet. So Rob walked us through the basics. We got my phone set up as the key for the car, and we even configured a profile for me, for the mirror settings and the steering wheel setting and where the seat is. and he even helped me get my home address set up, which unexpectedly was challenging. Rob was super cool. He personally inspects every car that he and his team delivers, and he praised Tesla for the improvements they have made since the first or the earlier produced models. And in his opinion, the Model 3s that are rolling out of the factory now are flawless and some of the best cars that Tesla is producing. All the complaints that customers have had, overly stiff suspension, panel gaps, etc., all of that has been dealt with. And I did my own inspection as well. I have to agree, even after driving it for a while, I haven't really found any flaws. The car feels like it's high quality, and there's a lot of care that went into building it, which is actually a little bit surprising given that it came out of production hell. So Rob and I got to talking. He leads the delivery team there in Fremont. He shared some really cool stuff about how successful Tesla has been. He asked me not to share any of the details, but suffice it to say, I feel really optimistic about Tesla's future. The next step is signing paperwork and dealing with the money. And here's where things got a little interesting. Now, I don't have any video of how all of that went down, so enjoy some scenic shots of me driving the Model 3 through some beautiful California country. So first, the first interesting thing is that they didn't seem to know that I had already paid my down payment online. Fortunately, I had my phone with me and I had an email from Tesla proving that I did pay. So I showed that to them. They asked me to forward that email to them. So that brings me to my second tip. Have with you proof that you paid your down payment online. And ideally, that would be an email on your phone that you could forward to them. Okay. Once they got that figured out, they had me provide a wet signature on the final purchase agreement, which is exactly the same as what they email you and what you use for getting set up with your loan. And they also had me sign a DMV form for registering the car. And then they asked for proof of insurance, which I thought was strange because I uploaded that online, but they didn't seem to have it. So I emailed that to them as well. So that brings me to tip number 3. Have your proof of insurance with you on your phone in case this happens to you, so you can email the proof of insurance to them. When you get your car insured, your insurance company should email you, I believe they call it a binder, that includes just a few details about your insurance, as well as insurance cards, temporary insurance cards. And that leads me to tip number 4. You should have printed copies of those temporary insurance cards with you for the drive home. Now let's talk about how I'm supposed to pay for my car. Apparently, Tesla had not yet received the money from Alliant. Alliant was the credit union that I'm using as my lender. And this made me really upset because the Alliant representative assured me that everything was prepared for me to take delivery of my car that day. The folks at Tesla said that they didn't necessarily need to have the money, but if I could show them an email from Alliant confirming that the loan has been funded, then that would have been good enough. Unfortunately, of all the emails I've gotten from Alliant, nothing quite said that. One of the emails was close, where it just said, "We are processing your loan and look forward to funding it shortly." But that wasn't good enough for Tesla, so that I could drive away in a $60,000 car. So I got on the phone with an Alliant rep. She was nice, but powerless to help me. She was not allowed to send any emails stating what Tesla needed to see. And Tesla wasn't satisfied hearing that my loan was funded over the phone. Like, it had to be something in writing, in an email. So I expressed my disappointment to the Alliant rep. It was very clear that I was upset, but I think I kept my cool. I didn't really take it out on her. I just, wanted to make it clear the position that they were putting me in. So that brings me to tip number 5. get your loan set up a few days before taking delivery to ensure that they have plenty of time to fund the loan and to wire the money to Tesla. And make sure that you have an email from your lender stating that the loan has been funded. So even if the money hasn't quite made it to Tesla, that email can be the thing that makes it easier for you to leave with your car. And that phrasing is important. It needs to say the loan has been funded. Okay. So the Alliant rep stayed on the phone with me as I discussed my options with the Tesla folks. And I got to say, those Tesla peeps were super nice through all of this. The experience was about as positive as it possibly could be. And these discussions went on for about a good hour and a half. The Alliant rep, as I waited for the Tesla folks to kind of go off and figure out, what other possibilities there might be, I got to talking with the Alliant rep, and she explained to me that she found this kind of strange. They have funded many, many loans for Tesla purchases, and in all of the other times, customers were able to take delivery before the money was actually wired to Tesla. And I guess they've done a lot of business together, and so Tesla has normally trusted them. And she didn't really understand why at this time it was a problem. So finally, Joe, the regional delivery operations manager, he came out to talk to us, and we earned his trust, and he decided to let us take the car, even though Tesla didn't have their money. And so I thought that was really cool. And he basically trusted that the money would be wired to Tesla on Monday. And the Alliant rep on the phone, she said that would most certainly happen. So it was unfortunate that whole thing took as long as it did, but I'm really glad that we didn't leave empty-handed. So, and after the fact, after processing that whole experience, I've concluded that this was all just growing pains for Tesla as they fine-tune the way that they deal with lenders. Now that I understand the situation better, I don't necessarily feel that Alliant was really at fault. They were just going along with the patterns that they've already had in place in dealing with Tesla. And so I don't mind being a guinea pig. It all worked out in the end, and ultimately I was impressed by how Tesla handled it. So I left the delivery center at 11:30 p.m. with my new Tesla Model 3. And the neat part is that I believe I was the very last Model 3 delivery to take place in Q1. And Q1 may be one of Tesla's most critical quarters. So if they end up doing really well in Q1, I feel good that we squeezed my delivery there at the end. The drive home was exhausting and a little nerve-wracking. I was a bit nervous driving my new expensive car. Driving a Tesla is a little different than driving an ICE car. So be mentally prepared for that. It's a little bit different. Thanks for watching this video. More to come as I share my experience driving the Tesla Model 3. Spoiler alert, this car is freaking amazing. I love it. Subscribe and like if you're interested in purchasing a Tesla Model S or X or any of Tesla's energy solutions. Please use my parents' referral link below. See you next time.